said I don't recall going along to that event.
Come on.
Excuse me, I said I don't recall going along to the event, and I don't recall that conversation taking place.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
The minute someone says, I don't recall, nobody believes them, I'm afraid. Because it's a way of not answering the question.
It's the honest answer.
Thank you, Mr.
Isn't the reason
Austin.
that you're not resigning, it's not because your love of duty, but your love of the salary.
Absolute nonsense.
Wouldn't you agree that you're a busted flush, you're a dead PCC walking, no one will take you seriously in future, you will have no influence. What's the point of continuing?
I've already outlined the reason for that, Mr. Flynn. It's because I've set in train what I stood for election to do, and I'm going to see that through.
Can I tell you that having been here 26 years, having served on thousands of meetings of Select Committee, you are the least credible witness I've ever come across. I don't believe what you're saying. If you'd like to give some indication, when you talked about the MP supporting you, I'd love to see some evidence of that. You don't mean MPs just writing in and saying, sending a friendly message, but MPs, you're telling us, have asked you to continue in office. Is that true?
I've received messages of support from MPs, yes.
No, that's what my question is. How many MPs have asked you to continue in office?
I haven't had any MPs ask me to continue in office.
No.
I've had messages of support from MPs.
Well, you get friendly messages. You've been around for a long time. I'm sure your pals will send you a friendly message saying they're there, don't take it to heart. But there's no support for you except your own love of your salary. Isn't that true? That's the only reason you're carrying on.
That's absolutely not the case, Mr. Flynn.
Well, I listen here fairly.
I've spent 25 years in a range of voluntary roles as a school governor, as a magistrate, in a variety of different unpaid roles.
I blush at my own party. I've been a member of this party for 3 times as long as you. And I'm rather ashamed of the fact that I've shared a party with you. And I think what you've revealed yourself to be today is a charlatan who's in love with office, in love with the salary, and you're a disgrace. And you might well bring down the office that you hold, because there's no way of getting rid of police and crime commissioners, and you'll be quoted as an example of why the whole process of appointing police and crime committees is a terrible mistake.
It is the unanimous view of this committee that you should resign immediately. We believe that public confidence in the role of the PCC is of critical importance, and we don't believe that you command the confidence of the public, bearing in mind those organisations who work with you who've said that you should resign. For your own sense, you mentioned your family and how tough it's been for them in the last 2 weeks. For your own sense of honour, if you believe that that exists, then you should do so immediately. I will be writing to the Home Secretary to ask her to look at the legislation on PCCs, because there isn't any at the moment, to see if there can be a possibility of emergency legislation or an amendment to deal with a situation such as yours, because it's unsatisfactory in our view that someone should be able to say to the public who elected them, I'm just carrying on, no matter the stacks of evidence that we have heard that calls into question your evidence to us today, which we find entirely unconvincing. And that's why, and I can't remember this ever happening from a select committee in terms of a public official who's been elected before, that we call for your immediate resignation. Order, order.